2017 is over and 2018 is here. There's a lot to reflect on from last year that was amazing. There was a lot of things that I learned. There's a lot of tough moments. There's a lot that went on in 2017. So I thought that today I would do a vlog that was all about the things that really impacted me in 2017. Moments that I loved, things that I learned, hard things that I went through, just kind of the things that in 2017 like really impacted me as a person, impacted me in a relationship, impacted me in my life. Obviously 2017 was like a crazy year for everyone. Then again, what year isn't a crazy year? But I have a lot to say in my own personal life, it was a roller coaster. There was lots of ups, lots of amazing moments, and then lots of, oh God, why is this happening to me moments. Not all bad, not all good, but I would definitely say that they were moments that really have impacted me enough to where I'm going into 2018 with a totally different outlook. So to start off, I'm gonna go ahead with an amazing moment that happened last year. Obviously, I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. And that was in 2017, I married my best friend. So yeah, I married Charles and it was beautiful. It was simple. We had our close friends and family there. It was kind of like everything and anything I think I would have ever wanted in a wedding. It turned out so beautiful and it was just such a great day. I don't know. I think it's really true when people say that like you walk down the aisle towards that person and everything around you just kind of like disappears. It's so true. And I remember walking down the aisle and walking towards Charles and I was terrified like walking out because you're just so nervous. There's so many people there. I swear everyone disappeared and it was just me and him. And that was just such a beautiful moment for me. Such an amazing moment. And I don't know, it's just something that really, really made 2017 for me. Another thing that I loved about 2017 would have to be our actual honeymoon. Charles and I decided to get an RV, pack up all the pups, and hit the road for about a month. We drove straight across the US, visited all these amazing places, kind of not really having an exact plan, which I absolutely love. Charles is much more of a planner where I'm a little bit more spontaneous, but it was really cool that he jumped on board with me and was like, you know what? Whatever, we're gonna figure this out along the way. And it ended up being the most incredible trip of my entire life. We went to the Grand Canyon. I can't even explain to you how beautiful it is. It doesn't even look real. This is insane. So crazy. We saw the sand dunes, which was so much fun. That was definitely something that I never expected to ever have the chance to go see.
If you look carefully on the mountain, it looks like a bunch of ants just scurrying it up.
We went to Yellowstone.
That is awesome.
But there was just so many amazing things that we did on that trip. So many amazing people that we met along the way. So many amazing memories that we made that I'll never forget. Now, there were some tough things that went on regarding me personally and Charles personally. With Charles, unfortunately, had a short little time frame where he was not feeling like himself and he was feeling under the weather and he was just not himself and he was fearful of a lot of things. That was a really hard time in 2017, is trying to show strength and to help this person know that everything is going to be okay, because it's not always that easy. He went through some hard moments and it was hard on me because I felt like it was my job to help him ease his pain, and I couldn't. It wasn't something that I had control over. It was something that only he could control and only he could work through, and seeing him go through that pain was a really tough moment for me, because you know, whenever someone you love or you care about is going through those type of things, you just, all you want to do is like kiss the boo-boo and make it better. But he got through it, and it was, like I said, a scary moment, but it was something that didn't break him down. I'm so thankful for that, because as weird as it sounds, when he was going through this tough time, he lifted me too. Now in 2017, there were a lot of things that I learned too. Being in this world of social media, being on YouTube, and kind of being in the public eye, which sounds weird to me like when I say it out loud, but truly being in the public eye, there's like a lot of scrutiny and judgment that goes on. And when I first started doing this with Charles, my skin was not tough. I had a lot of things that were said about me, and people were really cruel. People were really cruel to him. People were cruel to my family. It was really hard on me, and I didn't really know how to deal with those situations. I'm very hard on myself. I think that once I've joined this lifestyle, I became even more hard on myself about everything, from the way that I spoke to things that I did to judging myself so harshly on choices that I've made throughout my life. I was really down on myself, and I didn't share that too much in the daily vlogs. I kind of kept it to myself, and it may have once in a while shown through, but it was a tough time for me. I cried a lot. I struggled with finding inner peace in those type of situations. Self-love. I think that was the biggest thing, is like loving myself tremendously and knowing that I am better than all of those things that I was thinking of in my head, and all those emotions that were like rushing through my brain, knowing that I was better than that. So that made 2017 really hard on me. So we had this night where we spent all this time with our family, and the next morning I woke up and it was so weird. I felt the need to just kind of tell Charles what I was going through. And I woke him up out of a dead sleep, and I said to him, I need you to understand I'm feeling this way, and I'm really just struggling with who I am as a person, and I'm struggling with feeling if I'm good enough. I'm struggling mentally, just and emotionally, with what I deserve and what's good about me and things of that sort. We sat up and we talked for a very, very long time, and we kind of went over everything that I was feeling and everything that I was going through, and we really got into like a deep discussion about why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, what I thought brought it about. Then we kind of cried a little and we laughed a little, and we devised a plan that was going to just make things better and what I needed to do. And we both decided that maybe I should go talk to somebody about these emotions that I was feeling. I ended up starting to go to a therapist for a short while. I was kind of embarrassed to even talk about it, because I never thought I would be the person that would have to go to a therapist, because growing up you kind of think that that's like a bad thing. It's bad to go to a therapist, which it's not. It's not, because I think that it's nice to have somebody that is with you every single day, or your family, someone who's just completely biased of the situation, who is there to truly listen and try and help you through it. And I ended up seeing the therapist, and it changed a lot of things for me. It brought back self-worth to me, which was focusing more on myself and focusing more on things that made me happy, remembering that I'm good enough. I feel like that comes off wrong, but I think that it's not that I'm worried about what everyone else thinks, it's more what I think about myself, and I just kind of like deteriorated that. I'm okay, first off, I'm okay. I don't want anybody to feel bad or anything like that, or like sympathy, pity, anything of that sort. But going through those hard times, it was like super important for me to know that I'm the only person that can start to make myself feel better. I actually started doing affirmations daily, which for me really helped out a lot. I started spending more time by myself. I think that that was really important, and I also started to kind of separate myself from things that were not beneficial to me anymore. I found a new self-worth, and that was really hard for me. It was really hard for me, but it's such a uplifting moment too. It was just something that I never expected to feel so powerfully, and something that would just kind of like be gone at one moment and then just be here all of a sudden. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So yeah, that was hard for me to talk about. I don't know why, but it was kind of hard for me to talk about, but it's also very therapeutic. Another big thing that I learned in 2017 would have to be the fact that marriage is tough. I know that sounds crazy, and it's like not, people will always be like, marriage is no different than dating, which is true. But I feel like somehow the world works in mysterious ways, and all these things kind of come crashing in together at the same time once you get married, and you go through some tough moments. And there was a lot of times where Charles and I had disagreements that were really hard, that we didn't share online, obviously, but we had disagreements and different thoughts on things, and time frames in situations were off, and you know, we went through a lot of hard times. I think that the biggest thing with marriage for me that I've learned so far, or that I learned from last year, was that communication is so important, and that it's okay to fight, and that it's okay to not be perfect, because I think that no relationship is perfect. Even though what's presented to you online might come off as like the most beautiful and perfect relationship, that it's not necessarily perfect, because no relationship is perfect. But that was my biggest thing with marriage last year, is that it's okay to not be perfect, and that it's okay if we get mad at each other. It's okay if we don't want to be around each other. It's okay if we have different thoughts on certain situations. But that the biggest thing that we need to learn from that is that communication is so important. But with marriage being super hard, it's also such an amazing thing too. And I feel so lucky that I get to wake up and hear my husband's voice every single day. We learned how to get through situations, really tough situations, because of, you know, developing a stronger communication than we've ever had. I think it's the most important thing in the world, is to make sure that the communication is there. Oh, another thing that kind of like goes into that same category about things that I learned and kind of things that I went through. One thing that I noticed about myself was that I tend to take on the emotions of others. Kind of why I'm always hard on myself, but I take on the emotions of others and kind of like what they're going through, and I feel it for them. I don't know, that's just the type of person I am. Very empathetic, and I feel like I try so hard to relate to them so that I can understand what they're going through and what they're experiencing, that it really does kind of overtake me. That was really kind of, I think, wearing me down a little bit too. And so last year, I really noticed that it was kind of draining me with experiencing or taking on all these emotions and feelings that other people were going through, and hard times that people were going through. I also noticed that I was putting myself last, and I was putting everyone else first. I don't think I'm ever gonna be the person that will ever stop helping others or ever stop feeling so immensely for others. But I did work really hard last year, towards the end, on not taking on everyone else's problems, which was really out of my comfort zone, because for as long as I can remember, I've always been the person that I felt like a lot of people could depend on. I prided myself in the fact that I was a good friend, and I can stand by that still, that I feel like I'm a pretty decent friend, and if you needed me, I would be there without question. And I never realized how much that truly affected me as an individual. So last year I really recognized that once I started figuring out this like self-deterioration thing. First off, I learned that I was doing this, and then I started taking, you know, really pivotal steps forward in regards to this type of situations, like saying no, and that it's okay if people get mad at you. But also remember that if you say no, that doesn't make you a bad person. And that was hard. It was hard. I didn't like people being mad at me. I hate when people are mad at me. I had to work on that for a little bit. I had to learn how to deal with a certain situation that I wasn't used to experiencing, which was having people potentially upset with me even though they weren't upset with me. I'm still working on it today, but I really learned that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to feel for others, but remember that it's not necessarily your problem, and that I can't fix their problem. I like to try and fix. That was an interesting moment for me. It was hard. It was hard to let go of what I knew so strongly. I think I'm always gonna struggle with the fact that like it's okay if I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it for other people just because they need me, you know? And that sounds bad, and please don't think it's bad, but I had to remind myself that it's not selfish to put myself first. That was probably one of the biggest things that I learned in 2017. But another amazing thing that happened in 2017 is some of our greatest friends had babies. Some of our greatest friends got married, and my brother had my first niece, and that was so magical, and just my heart exploded. I had amazing adventures, smiled a lot more than I cried. I laughed a lot more than I was upset. I went into 2018 with a much better outlook on this year and on life and on things that I want. And I know it's gonna be a struggle, I know it's gonna be crazy, but I'm very thankful for the amazing moments that I had, the tough moments that I had, and then all the amazing things that I learned last year. You should feel my heart right now. It is racing like crazy. This was kind of a weird video, and I know I rambled because I was super nervous throughout the entire video, because I felt like that was like my first step to really letting you guys into my life. I'm not gonna lie, it was really scary for me to do that, but those were some things that I wanted to share about 2017. I just want to say though, I know that there's a lot of people out there who kind of go through the same thing that I go through every single day, and or maybe you're still struggling with it, or maybe it's something that you experienced in the past. First off, I just want to say you guys are amazing. If you're still going through it now, you're gonna get through it. You just have to remember tomorrow's a new day. Every new day is a new day to start, and it's a new opportunity to, you know, make a better situation out of a negative situation. Now that I'm done ranting, and now that I'm done kind of being nervous, I'm gonna let you go. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. All right guys, well, I will see you next time. Bye.